Good damn morning, boys and girls. It's Monday, March 7th, 10:30. I do the hand blocking thing, right? Yeah, I fucking suck at that, sorry. How's everyone today? Hope you had a nice weekend. Ooh, interesting, right? So people that have been following the channel, you haven't seen or heard about this one yet. And for the really astute viewers of the channel, you'll go, Travis, isn't that your 65 Dunhill Lavat? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Well, Travis, isn't that pipe dedicated to squadron leader and only squadron leader? 99% of the time, yes. Yes, it is. Interesting. We'll talk about that a little bit. Bunch of stupid dogs doing stupid dog things. Let me get this lit up. Mmm. Mmm. Good Lord, that's delicious. And before anyone bitches at me, yes, I know that there is oxidation on my stem. Yes, I know you can polish it. Obviously, this is a choice. It's a 1965 pipe. It should look like a fucking 1965 pipe. Yeah, I'm a fan of the kind of patina. I knock it down with a magic eraser, but other than that, I kind of like them getting old and old. Mm. So I got a few things I was going to talk about this morning. Man, the news. I'm a news wonky. I kind of always have been. Like since grade school, I was interested in the news and politics and how the world worked and why the world worked the way that it did. And I got a lot I could talk about, but I don't know. I don't think this is the right space. I don't think I don't think that's why we're here. I don't think that's what this relationship is about. In fact, in a lot of ways, I think that's kind of the exact opposite of what this should be in my head, or what my intentions are, anyways. This is what this is supposed to be about: pipes, pipe smoking, tobacco, pipe smoking culture, community, all of that. I don't give a fuck what color you are. I don't care where you live. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what headwear you wear in public. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gods you pray to. If if you have a pipe and you have tobacco and you're a semi-kind human being and you catch me in a moment with my pipe, we're gonna have something to talk about. And I think that's what this is about. Is it's nice just to have a community that's all passionate about the same thing, and one that I don't know that look past all of those things is the right way to describe it, but uh, at least a community where that just doesn't matter. Like, keep that shit out of here. That's not what this is about. This is about this community and being able to be passionate about this. because the rest of the world think we're fucking crazy because of this. So at least here we all know we're crazy. We're the same kind of crazy, so it works out. So I don't know. I don't know that I ever see myself getting into too much politics. I might someday. I may have a bit of a rant session. We'll see how the future holds. By the way, this is Monster Truck. For those of you that have never met Monster Truck, this is the fuzzy Monster Truck. He is half toy poodle, half Bichon Frise. We rescued him last summer. Came out of California all the way up here to Washington, but he turned into a really, really good dog. And he's my little man. He's my little pipe smoking buddy. He sits out here with me and smokes a pipe. I got a dog bed right here, and he lays in, or he just gets in my lap a lot of the time. So I'll have the door open and just sit here and watch the world go by and smoke a pipe. Both my dogs kind of know when I start to clean out my pipe and tamp it out and scrape it out, they know that it's time to go inside. So I don't even have to say anything. When they hear me or see me cleaning out my pipe, they just get up and walk to the door. It's awesome. Dogs trained by pipe smoking. Mm. So this is my second cup of coffee and my third pipe this morning. But I've been up since 4:30, so normally it wouldn't be my third pipe. It might be my second pipe. I'm clearly working on some blends. Hint, hint, hint. And I was trying another one. I was trying two of them out, actually side by side. So I smoked them back to back this morning. So I wanted to get a feel for how they differed. They're similar blends, similar constituents. I wanted to know if I felt like changing one of them to make them a little more different, or if I was okay with the amount of difference. It's kind of one of the things I want to talk about this morning, actually. Not just my house ones. I swear to fucking, not every video is going to be about my house ones. Maybe a lot of my videos, but not all of them. So this one, I'm only going to talk a little bit about it. But it's fun. Like this is why I do this. Uh, like I said several videos back, I really classify myself as an obsessive compulsive hobbyist. Some of you like to restore pipes. Some of you like to make pipes. Some of you like to make tampers. There's a lot of us that do a lot of different creative things in the pipe space, the pipe culture, that I think really kind of put us into the hobbyist thing. And I like blending. I like coming up with flavors. I like formulating a thought in my head. You know what would taste good is something like this. And to get there, here's how I would do that. And then doing it and seeing if I was right. All right, cooking. We talked about the vape shop. Pipe keeps going out. So more than most pipe channels, you may hear a lot about my goddamn house blends. But to be fair, I'm also kind of proud of them. Like objectively, several of them objectively are just bangers. I mean, absolute. Jeremy Reeves, you will never watch this video, but if you do, you need to reach out because I'm telling you, some of these are legit tobacco blends. Some of you, a lot of them may not be for everyone, but there are a few that they're real good. They're, I've explained before, but there's just really some magic that can happen when you take kind of already mixed stuff together and then mix that together. You end up with proportions that are really difficult to master outside of building from that. Honkers overhead. So this weekend, obviously, I got bulk tobacco in. I spent all day Saturday dealing with that, actually. Well, not all day, but good 4 or 5 hours of Saturday working on that. Made up about 7 pounds of house blends in total. To do that, to accommodate that, I had to switch out my jars. I have like apparently 7 bigger jars that can hold 1.5 pounds, and then I have 7 smaller jars that can only hold about 1 pound. So I ended up having to switch out what I had and what I had, kind of my bulk leftover stuff in my bigger jars and house blends in my smaller jars, but I wanted to be able to mix more than that in a sitting. So switched out all my jars and had to relabel, and it's a thing. Winter dog. That's my other dog. She's down there. Hi. Yeah. You're not paying attention. You keep hitting it. So I've wanted to make a couple more English blends for a while. A couple reasons. Just I wanted to make a couple more English blends. I like English blends. I smoke them a lot. I could probably only smoke English blends and be really happy about it. English, American, English, that vein. This one's clearly just in English. But the other reason is, I mentioned it before, but I'm autistic and have OCD, and the main box where kind of like the tobaccos I smoke the most out of holds 24. It's 4 rows of 6, and in my English row I have Squadron Leader, and then I have the 3 that I'd already done: Blue Leader, Red Leader, and Black Leader. I've had those for a while, but I wanted 2 more to make that whole row be kind of one series. I've got 6 Popeyes, 6 Presidents. I wanted 6 Bold Leaders. And I've been thinking about it for months, about wanting to make a couple more Englishes. Dog, what are we doing here? Come on. But Englishes, I think, kind of suffer. Englishes suffer the same that a lot of straight Virginias do, in my opinion, in that so many of them just taste like the last one. And it seems like there's a whole category of them, of Englishes especially. Well, when talking about Englishes, there's a whole category of them that they just kind of try to make either a mild, medium, or strong Latakia English. And there's not, God forbid I use the word nuance, but there's not a lot of complexity other than this is a light English, this is a medium English, this is a strong English. And I think straight Virginias kind of deal with that too a little bit. There's a handful out there that we all agree are standouts in the category, but there's a lot of them that at the end of the day, once you've had a straight Virginia, you've had a straight Virginia. And there's a whole bunch of straight Virginias that it would be hard to differentiate in a blind taste test. And I thought Englishes are they've got kind of the same problem a little bit of, it's another Latakia blend. This is Derringer, the head. And other than, like, I'm the Burley Piper, I smoke a lot of Burleys. I love Burleys. They're my kind of primary leaf. But, man, Latakia is actually pretty close as far as first and second choice, my favorite leaf, I think, at this point. But I smoked regular English blends before American English blends. Englishes with Burley and usually Perique added to it. Fell in love with regular Englishes long before American Englishes. It was actually a Cornell and Deal blend called Morning Drive. It was the first like American style English that I knew what I was smoking. Oh, okay, this is American style English. It's a burley English blend. That'll be cool. Uh, and fell in love with it. I was like, oh, snap. Shit, that was made just for me. Look at that shit. But one of the things that I liked about it is that it was a different flavor of an English. I liked Englishes, but even back then, I'd already kind of come to realize I had a couple of my own favorites. We all do. Squadron Leader is like kind of my benchmark for almost all pipe tobaccos, English or not. Maltese Falcon was one that I smoked a lot of. Really was a big fan of Maltese Falcon along with Squadron Leader. Shadow Pipe Club's got a couple of real nice Englishes. And there's a ton of them out there. There's a ton of them out there are good. But that's also kind of my point a little bit of there's like a tier of, maybe 20 of them that we all will agree, yeah, those 20, they all belong in the top five. And then there's a huge middle, just a massive middle section of, which one was that? What, didn't we already smoke that one? I thought we had that one 2 times ago. And they all just kind of become the same a little bit. So the first time I smoked an American style with burley added to it, it was like a new flavor of Englishes. Like when they come out with a seasonal flavor of M&Ms. Kind of same idea, but a new take on that, and it was fucking exciting for me. And since then, it's not that I've lost my love for English blends because I haven't. Every day I smoke at least one English, if not a couple. Couple of my bowls are going to be English blends, but at least one of them for sure. I just really, really like English blends, especially American style English blends. But the idea of when I've been doing these blends and these house blends, and I want to make a couple more Englishes, I didn't want to just make a couple more of the same. Uh, yep, these are just like this, just like that. And I think a series, when you're putting together a series, it's important to have continuity. It's important to have some sort of like foundational ideology for the series. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of random fucking tobaccos that you put the same picture on. So I think if you've done it right, there's some sort of continuity through your series, which means they all need to be kind of similar-ish, but not copycats and not just the exact same. And here's another one of this, and here's the exact same, but there's a little more of this, and here's the exact same, but a little more of that. Like let's take the Burley Flakes, not English ones. I get it, but the Burley Flakes. I love the Burley Flakes, all but four. Not a big fan of four, but if I spent like a month smoking them, kind of really getting intimately familiar with them, 4 out of the 5, even then, I don't know if I could, on a blind taste test, tell you which one was which. They kind of just, it's one of the Burley Flakes. Yep, I know that much, but man, I don't, which one is this? A couple of them are different than the others, which is neat. And so that's kind of how I build my series a little bit is there's continuity through it, but I want things to be different enough to scratch a different itch. Uh, I'm one of those fellers that I pick a pipe by my mood. What am I in the mood for? And it's usually either which pipe do I want to smoke, and then that will dictate which blend maybe, or what blend am I in the mood for. Just depends on my mood. Depends on my mood, what mood I'm in. If that makes any sense, which I imagine it does to some of you. That'll resonate. I cannot keep this thing lit today. We're going to get back to the Dunhill Squadron Leader, Green Leader question. I'm just answering it really fucking long. Kind of what I'm known for. So when I put my English series together, like I've said, I started with squadron leader. No, I didn't build squadron leader, and I don't fuck with squadron leader. That thing stays by itself. I don't use it in anything else. That's its own. It's a standard. It's a classic since 1925. Like, yeah, squadron leader is its own thing. But when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to like call and kind of conceptualize a series of Englishes, I went, well, if you have the squadron leader, who else is in the squadron? That's how I have black, red, blue. Now I have gray and I have green. So back to my story on Saturday. I was putting together all these bulk blends and switching jars and whatnot. Got done and kind of saw what remnants of tobacco I had left from my bulk order. Kind of figure out what I want to do with it, if I want to jar it up like that or what. And I had two blends just kind of like pop into my head. And out of the components that I had sitting there, and I was like, oh, that'd be interesting. Gray leader is kind of similar to blue leader. I may end up changing it a little bit. I don't know. It's really, really, really good. Gray leader is. So is blue leader. But they are kind of similar-ish. And so I've got a thought of a second version of gray leader I may try and see what I think of that before I lock that one in. But you mind. So backing up, in every series, I also like to have an outlier, something that doesn't necessarily follow all of the rules, maybe most of the rules of the series, but it breaks some kind of in a loud way. And I like that in a series for a couple of reasons. I just think it's fun. I just think every group needs a rebel, to be honest with you. But I also think it helps kind of define what the series is. When everything has a continuity to it, it can be easy to get lost. Kind of you lose the forest for the trees. But then when you take something that's different but similar, kind of, it makes it easier to go, oh, okay, now I see what all of those other ones really have in common because it's not in this one. So I don't mind having an outlier in a series. In fact, I think it kind of makes sense. So of my English blends that I smoke on a regular basis is Squadron Leader and then my three house blends. I have, I don't know, probably 15 more jars, kind of, your big hits, Nightcap, Quiet Nights, blah, 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 all of them. I've had most of them, not all of them. Frog Morton is still my holy grail. Um, if anyone has a line on Frog Morton, please. That's like legit my holy grails, Frog Morton stuff. I never got a chance to try any of the Frog Morton. I'm not interested in the arrows, but the Frog Morton Englishes I really, really would love to try. But to be honest with you guys, I don't smoke tins most of the time. Like at this point, it's rare. Maybe one bowl a month will be out of the tin. Everything else I smoke is one of my house blends. I built such a collection of house blends that it just any mood that I'm in, I have something that I have built exactly for me for that mood. So it's a hell of a lot cheaper too than tins. As you guys saw in my unboxing video, I think it was $3.58 an ounce average is what it came out to. See, I got the airflow all messed up because I keep fucking with it. It's not the Dunhill's problem. I did that. It's a user error. For all you new pipe smokers, never blame the pipe. It's a user error. All right, sometimes it's the pipe. It's not this pipe's fault though. This pipe is a fucking champ. This thing is a workhorse. This or my 85 Bent Bulldog. One of those two are my absolute grab it in a house fire on the way out pipe. Probably this one, but I don't know. That Burley pipe is magical. Fuck, I digress. English blends. So the ones that I smoke regularly, I only have one true English. It's a Balkan Squadron Leader. Kind of one of the standards in the pipe industry. And I absolutely love Squadron Leader. All of my blends, blue, black, and red, are very much burly forward American style English blends with different levels of Latakia. I've kind of built the light, medium, and heavy, with black later being the kick you right between your fucking scrotum. Oh, I love that blend. Good Lord. That's flavor there, boys. Not one that I would smoke day or every day. God damn it. Yes, I could smoke it every day. Not a all day smoke for me. I mean, maybe. No, I don't know. It's good, but that's a lot of pipe. That's a lot of pipe. So I wanted to make, in this idea of, I've been kind of thinking about making two more English blends. I wanted one of them to be some sort of more traditional English, whether it's a English, Balkan, whatever, something a little more traditional. But how does it like still make sense? How does it make sense in my universe, my tobacco universe I'm building here? Oi, hey! So I was sitting there looking at what I had left, and I used Star of the East in Blue Leader, and then I used Bayou Morning in a bunch of shit. And so I had a little bit of both of those left. I went, huh, that's interesting. And I know that there's Bayou Nights out there, the other version, the Latakia version of Bayou Morning. I've taken out some of the Preak and exchanged it for some Latakia, and it's an okay blend. Uh, it's not magical to me. It just fits in that big middle category of like, yep, that's a absolutely smokable Latakia. Nothing super remarkable about it, but also nothing bad about it. Well, the Star of the East, it's 50% Latakia, but it's heavy Oriental, hence Star of the East. So I'm thinking Oriental, Latakia, Virginias, Creeks. Well, that's like it's a really nice kind of classic Balkan English. And I'll bet you the Preak and Bayou Morning toned down a little bit. And I love Bayou Morning by itself. I'm not saying it needs toned down, but I think toning it down with some Orientals, well, that's really starting to get into some interesting traditional English flavor combos. So, not a blend that I had like composed in my head for thought about for a long period of time. It just kind of happened in the moment. I put equal parts Bayou Morning and Star of the East. Let it sit overnight. Had my first bowl the next morning. Here's five. This is only my second bowl of this. And within about 3 puffs of it, I was like, holy shit, that's that's a magical blend. That's a fantastic Balkan English. I mean, really a fantastic English. For those of you that have both of these blends in your repertoire, you should try this. If you're an English lover, you should try this. It's really good. So, yes, to get back to the original question of the video. Isn't that your 65 Dunhill? Yeah, it is. Don't you only smoke squadron leader in it? Yeah, I do. So why are you smoking green leader in it? Because it's fucking good. It's good enough that I wanted to try it in my English dedicated Dunhill pipe and see if it's as good as I think it is. Does it hold up to what I know this pipe smokes squadron leader to? So Travis, are you saying this whole goddamn time this video has been like a weird review of one of your house blends? I don't know. Maybe. I kind of just wanted to talk about English blends and how too many of them taste the fucking same. Because I think too many of them taste the fucking same. I forget. But you know, what is it? Pipe blends are like assholes. Everyone's got one and most of them stink. I get everyone all wanting to have kind of their version of this, their version of that. But that's what I did this weekend. I made up a bunch of pipe tobaccos and I came up with two new ones from kind of leftovers, and both of them absolutely smashed it out of the park. So I had kind of a pipey weekend. I hope you all had kind of a pipey weekend. Well, she's finally out, boys. So I guess with that, I will bid everyone adieu. Hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good week. I'm sure I'll talk to y'all again at some point in time. But in the meantime, chin up, cheers, and happy piping.